Well, good day, everybody. It's week 14. We're deep into the NFL season. How can you not do video for week 14? Even though the Chargers were one of my bigger picks last week and they seem like they lost to the officials. So that's always annoying when you're watching football when you see that happen, but that's okay. Let's talk about week 14 and what we have in the algorithm. First of all, we did not have the Cowboys beating the Bears on the road. That didn't happen. They looked awful. You can see that the projected opponent score for Chicago is 23 right now, and 26 for Dallas. Dallas lost this game 24-31 when you open it up. So that is a loser right there. But Dallas just looked terrible. So, the Bears apparently Trubisky came to play anyway. So looking at what's going on Sunday specifically, let's talk about that. Let's see, the Monday night games, Philly and the Giants. You would think Philly should win that game, but Philly's not that great. And I think Eli Manning may be starting for the Giants too. But let's talk about Sunday right now because it's probably what you care about. So I think some things are pretty obvious here. The Packers at home against the Redskins. I can see why they're minus 800. Tough to mess around with a 12-point spread line. It's probably a really good survivor pool pick if you still have survivor pool going on and haven't taken the Packers yet. That would probably be good there. But tough game to bet because of the line. I think you got a similar problem with the Vikings in Detroit. The only thing here is it really thinks Detroit is going to give Minnesota a better game, even in Minnesota offensive wise. You can see Cousins had trouble with Seattle last week. Detroit is no Seattle, but it does think that 13 points is way too much, and Detroit might actually cover that. So that's a play you could make there is Detroit plus the points. Pittsburgh and Arizona thinks that Arizona loses in a squeaker to Pittsburgh. This game's in Arizona. Pittsburgh slightly favored. Does not think Pittsburgh's going to cover the spread. Arizona just got walked last week, though. It's a tough game. I guess Pittsburgh money line because it's so high up here on the win score percentage is probably the way to play this. But seeing this close of a projected score always kind of scares me a little bit. Baltimore and Buffalo. I do think Baltimore beats Buffalo, even though Buffalo came off a nice win against Dallas. You see how poorly they played against the Bears, giving Buffalo Josh Allen a little more credit than he probably deserves. Baltimore, a really strong team coming off beating the Niners, right, in the rain. Uh, does think they're going to cover also the 5.5. So that's interesting. Well, thinks Baltimore's going to do that, but definitely thinks they're going to win. That's a nice money line bet. It feels good there. Cleveland over Cincinnati. Cincinnati just got a win. It's picking a high scoring game of 53 points total because of lack of defense and maybe some offense. So maybe an over there. I don't like Cleveland at negative 330 on any planet, let alone Earth. So uh, Cincinnati plus the points. Got 7 points there with Cincinnati. Consider that. Houston and Denver. This game's in Houston. Wow, Houston negative 500 after beating the Patriots. But look at that close scoring game, but it's not in Denver. It's in Houston. So tough game to play there. I'm scared to take Denver plus the points in Houston, even though it's 9 points. But Denver's defense has been better recently, but I don't think the Chargers offense was that great last week anyway. Tennessee and Oakland. So here's something where the algorithm really heavily likes Tennessee over Oakland here by 9 points, and Vegas is only giving them a 2.5 point um, line. So we really think Tennessee's going to cover. We really like them on the money line at negative 140. That's one of our top picks. As much as I hate to say Tennessee, it worked out last week against Indianapolis, where the algorithm said that Tennessee was going to beat them, and they did. Patriots and the Chiefs. Wow. Patriots and the Chiefs thinks the Patriots by 8. This game's in New England. They lose their game to Houston, a team probably with better defense than the Chiefs, although the Chiefs defense has played better in alternating weeks. I don't think the Patriots lose 2 in a row. That's a reasonable money line for the Patriots there. So that right there with Tennessee is a very good pick also. The Patriots. Niners and New Orleans. And here's where it likes the Niners as an underdog. Thinks they're going to win by a couple points. Thinks it's going to be a super high scoring game. all of those things sound reasonable. Why would there be a crazy defensive battle between the Niners and the Saints in New Orleans? There's usually a lot of more points in that dome. So you could take San Francisco plus 2.5, or you can just try to get on the money line. Either one of those is a good bet. I think San Francisco still a little bit of an underrated team in my opinion because they just lost to Baltimore, but gave them a heck of a game in the rain. I think San Francisco wins that game. Jets and Dolphins. I don't like taking the Jets minus 250. They burned us a couple weeks ago, at least 1 or 2 weeks ago. And I think it was last week the Jets burned us. Just like taking Cleveland at minus 330, I don't like taking the Jets at minus 250, even though it's the Dolphins who just accidentally beat the Eagles somehow. I don't know what happened in that game, but that was crazy. So I'm scared of that. Seattle and the Rams here, like Seattle is a dog. No, not as a dog, but as a very, very slight favorite, but doesn't like them in point projections. Thinks there's going to be more points than you'd think in this game. So keep that in mind because that's in LA and actually likes the Rams. So this is a conflict game. Um, yeah, it's a pick'em game. That's why it's a very, very close game. Um, a tough call there, but either it could go either way, right? Chargers and the Jags. Jags are over their Gardner Minshew fever and haven't won in a while. Thinks the Chargers are going to walk all over after the Chargers, who are still fighting for a playoff berth, have lost like in consecutive weeks, right? Ugly games. So the Chargers are due for a win. That is, look at they're favored by 9 in our algorithm, only favored by 3 in Vegas. So again, we like to go back to the well, and we like the Chargers again. Hopefully the refs don't screw them this time, even though it's in Jacksonville. Carolina, Atlanta. Look at this crazy projected score in favor of Atlanta, but it says Carolina slightly by win score percentage for the season. What this tells me is you do not take Carolina on the road in this game, even though I think they got a new coach. You take Atlanta plus the Atlanta would be minus the points. The Atlanta is favored here, so you don't to flip this around and see what Atlanta is favored at. It's right there. Atlanta's minus 160, but that's the better pick on the money line. So keep that in mind all the way down here. And then what else? This is a projected tie between Indianapolis and Tampa Bay. And this game's in Tampa Bay. So keep that in mind. They're favored by win score and they're favored 20, actually slightly. Tampa Bay is favored by projected score. So I guess you can take Indianapolis plus 3.5. I mean, what are the odds they lose by more than a field goal in this game? That's probably the play there because it's not projected score wise, it's not saying they're going to win. So, in summary, let's just take a look at it this way, real quick, before we're done. Sort this by projected margin of victory. Like I was talking about the Chargers, Packers only as a survivor pullback because this is minus 800. Titans, Patriots, Ravens. I like all that. I like all that. You could even do, if you did a 5-team parlay there, you might lose Tennessee, but I'm always wrong with that. Like trust the algorithm. That's a pretty sick round robin right there. I don't like taking the Jets. It's not worth it to take the Vikings. Maybe you take an over in one of those games instead. I do like the Niners because it pays well and they're a good team. So that might be the 6th. And the Steelers are probably going to beat Arizona, right? There's a 7. So that those might be my 7 if I do something. I think it would probably be that. Although Green Bay is too expensive. So what do you do? Take somebody with the points. I said take Detroit with the points, didn't I? Yeah, because 13 is a lot of points, even though you think Minnesota can score at home and they can, but 13 is a lot of points, and I don't think they're that much better. Although the file does have it, the file just says it's going to be a touchdown game and not a 2-touchdown game, so that might be the other pick. Anyway, good luck everyone. Everybody's picks be winning. There's your video for week 14.